What's up, guys? Welcome back to Build Cool Shit again. Today, we're back to work on our 1986 Honda Helix CN250. And in this episode, the goal is to get this thing painted so we can be one step closer to getting this thing back on the road. But in order to make that happen, we first need to go through and get this thing all sanded up. So off camera, I've been going through and putting in what time I've got to sand as much of this thing as possible. I've done a little bit of Bondo work where the tubing bender kind of scraped up the tubing in areas, so that way things are a lot smoother and I'm not grinding deep into the metal, because I want to keep that nice rounded look of the tubing. So I had to do a little Bondo work, but we're moving right along. So the goal is we're going to do a little sanding montage, and then I'm going to have to load this thing up, take it back to the house so we can paint this thing outside. Because last time I painted inside, I made a huge mess in here, and I do not want to deal with cleaning that up again. Because once you spray all that stuff out of the can, it all comes back down eventually and it coats everything. And at first it's not too bad, but then when you start realizing that it's just everywhere, it's quite a headache to deal with. So I'm going to save myself that headache by taking this thing outside to paint it. But we need to get it all sanded first, and then we'll give it a little wipe down with some acetone just to help clean up our surface, and then I'll probably wipe it down again before we paint. But before we get started, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building cool shit. This thing's gonna be done before we know it, and you're gonna wanna make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on our next build. Because, spoiler alert, it has 4 wheels this time, which means this is gonna be our biggest project to date. So you're gonna wanna make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. But with all that being said, let's get started! So we made it to the compound, and I've already gone ahead off camera and got everything all hung up in here. Let's see if you guys can see it all. It's kind of all over the place. This poor Easy Up starting to make some sounds like it's about to collapse from all the weight of this stuff. So hopefully it holds out and we'll be able to get this all done. So now I need to go through and tape some things off that I don't want paint to get on, like the steer tube, the bearing cups, and other miscellaneous stuff. So I'll get you guys set up, we'll take care of that, and then I'll show you guys the colors I picked out for this thing. Now, I did pick out 3 colors, but the more I think about it, I think I'm better off just doing 2 of them and not getting too crazy with 3 different colors, and I just think it's going to be a little too wild, and you'll see what I mean. It's, let's just say, it's kind of Mystery Machine-ish. So, I'll get you guys set up, we'll start taping, show you guys the colors, and then we'll start painting this stuff. So, with all that being said, let's get started. So we made it back to the shop, and let me say, I am very happy with how things came out. Now, I did have to do a little sanding between the primer and the paint because there was a little, I guess you'd call it dry spray, where you're spraying but the paint's drying before it's making contact, so you kind of wind up with some powder all over, or maybe it's just overspray. But it took a little sanding, but we managed to go ahead and get it all painted. Now, I still need to paint the handlebars. I'm trying to decide whether or not to paint the wheels. Maybe drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. If there's anything else you guys think I need to paint, also let me know, because I'm going to be checking, and I want this thing to look as good as possible. So we'll have to see as we start putting this thing together. Now, I'm going to give this a little bit longer to dry. I just had to get it out of the dust and out of the weather. Even though the heat will help dry things, it's pretty hot here, so it's just got to keep degassing. Usually, I try to let things wait like a week after I paint, just so things can dry and be all the way cured. So we'll go ahead, let this sit for a little bit. In the next episode, we'll finally start assembling this thing and getting it ready. I also picked up some new wire connectors and a whole bunch of wire. So we're gonna rewire the entire bike and make everything nice and pretty. When I did it last time, I just kind of made it to where things worked, but now it's time to go through and address all that as well. So in the next episode, we're gonna start assembly and we'll see how far we get. But before we get out of here, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building cool shit. This thing's gonna be done before you know it, and you're not gonna wanna miss out on our next project. But with all that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next episode.